Hello everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Let's Player, SpiderMwa, and I welcome you back to Let's Play Notes of Trilby, or Trilby's Notes. I think it's most known as Trilby's Notes, but it has the second name of Notes of Trilby, but even the game says that it's Trilby's Notes. Anyway, Trilby's Notes! Talk about a goddamn voice crack. So, last time we met the people that we needed to meet, and also I have to apologize for all the Irish people. Our red-headed lady there, Siobhan, is actually Irish. She's supposed to be Irish. She has a very Irish name, and I didn't give her an Irish accent. But I'm gonna do my best of correcting this and actually speak in an Irish accent for her from now on. And yes, I even looked up how to pronounce her name. I've seen that name before, and I know it's a very Irish name for a woman. Or a girl, whatever. And, yeah, I found out that it's actually pronounced Siobhan. So, now I know how to correctly even say her name. But enough about that, let us continue. So, what can we do? Let's look at Siobhan. Siobhan O'Malley struck me as a somewhat tomboyish young woman with an unreserved attitude. She was watching me with an odd half-smile on her face. What was the dude's name? Look, man. Professor Chayhall, yeah, of course, Chayhall. Forgot about that already. Struck me as a likable man, a good-humored scholar with an old-fashioned outlook. For his status, I consider his style of dress eccentric in its casualness. So let's look at the room. The hotel room was pleasant, but had apparently been built in the times before ensuite bathrooms. That means inside the suites they didn't have bathrooms back then. They were always in the corridors and everything. The sofa and bed were competing pinks. A small desk was provided and a television sat on the opposite counter. So let's talk to... Why not Siobhan first? I needed to be more specific and talk to one of them about something. Okay, talk to Siobhan about... Relic? I didn't understand the word relic. Artifact. No, I don't want them. What is the question mark in the top? I can't click to it because there is no mouse. Inventory. I got lockpicks. Okay. What? Talk to Siobhan about herself. I don't know. How did you come to work for the professor? I was a student at antiquities and studying under the Warwick University. He offered me this chance to supplement my studies. She was very talented. I'm sorry if my accent sucks. I know it does. So sorry about that. I'm trying my best. Many times I've already said that when I do accents, especially if it's Irish, it's gonna be very stereotypical. Stereotypical. You know, top of the morning to ya, and all that. It's the only one I can actually do that sounds legit. I'm sorry. Talk to her about the professor. I thought it impolite to discuss someone with someone else while they were still in the room. Huh? Too true. Studies? School? How do you not understand the word school or artifact or university? How about we ask her about Defoe? I didn't consider that subject relevant. Well, let us talk to Chayhall about himself. What have you been up to lately, Professor?
Oh, do you call me Abed? I'm doing a little lecture tour on famous antique collections at the moment, taking me all over the place. I was only able to attend this fair because I'm speaking at Bangor on Monday.
Talk about Banger? Ask J-Hall about artifact. Artifact, then. Ask about Defoe. So, I understand you came into possession of artifacts from Defoe Manor.
Yes, indeed, and it was astonishing to me that such artifacts existed at all. The whole place burned to the ground. Did you hear about the Defoe Manor incident?
I was experiencing a sick feeling that I had not felt for quite some time. The last I had felt it was while standing at the gates of another country mansion, not long after Defoe Manor, preparing to break in. Recalling those 5 wretched days churned my stomach with fear, turning what had once been the joy of thievery into an exercise in anxiety. Discussing it brought that feeling back, the act of feigning ignorance while visions of welding masks and machetes flooded my mind's eye worsened them. I heard something on the news.
And it's been on the news again lately since that Taylor woman died.
A lot of silly talk about the paranormal has been abound, so the true facts are near unreachable.
But the point is, some enterprising fellows picked up 1 or 2 undamaged items from the ruins. Furniture, books, an ugly little tribal figurine. And I took them off their hands, purely out of curiosity, of course.
So, were there any particular items your client is interested in? Well, let's ask Siobhan about Defoe, if she knows anything. Okay. Ask, if I can type. About books. Relic, then. What am I supposed to ask him about? If it... my head is gonna explode. Idle? Tell me, does a huge man in a welding mask and leather apron mean anything to you?
Not really. Should it?
Never mind. It's a small African figurine that my client wants me to look into, resembling a rather ugly tribal god.
That old thing? Honestly, despite its age, it's virtually valueless.
That's what I said, but my client is very insistent. He's interested in the paranormal, and the idol features in some of the more unlikely accounts of the Defoe Manor incident.
Well, I don't suppose I should ask questions if this man of yours wants to take it off my hands. I don't have it on me right now. It's being kept in the hotel safe. Perhaps we can work out a deal after the fair. I had intended to display it with the other Defoe artifacts. Inwardly, I just wanted to get this mission completed as fast as possible, but I didn't want to risk suspicion or giving off the wrong impression. That will be fine. So, just out of interest, what else have you picked up from the mansion? Odds and ends, basically. Some silverware and ceramics. Most of what I burned the rocking chair. And the painting, of course.
Painting?
A landscape from a wall in the mansion's lounge. Of little artistic value, but the artist features prominently in Defoe Manor's colorful history.
Matthew Defoe?
That's him, yes. Bethan, she runs the hotel. She asked if she could display it in the lobby.
Instantly I recalled the sick feeling I had felt in the lobby. I had seen the painting, but had paid a little heed. Yeah, I do remember that painting. We did only look at it once, but there was the other painting that was more interesting. Remember the one with the aging man on it?
Ugh,
Still remember that very vividly myself.
Oh. Are you alright, Mr. Trilby? You've gone rather pale.
What? I'm sorry, I was just distracted by my thoughts for a moment. Lost in history, eh? Something like that.
Mr. Trilby, what the hell was that?
What the hell was what? You were just sitting there, and then you went all stiff like you'd seen a ghost.
You didn't see it? See what, Mr. Trilby?
I'm sorry, I have to go. Something's wrong. Oh well, we won't keep you then.
We'll see you later, maybe.
My head was spinning and a sudden nausea churned in my gut. The world seemed to be pulsating, the corners of the room wavering like a heat haze. His body is here. Huh. You may say I imagined these things, and I thought that must have been the case. Was I going out of my mind? Was the hotel really changing into some nightmarish twin? Was I the only one who could see it? If I was hallucinating, it was too complex. The harsh wooden floor beneath my feet felt real enough. The horrendous stench of rotting flesh that reached my nostrils could not have been conjured by my imagination. I'm trying to listen to what they're whispering. Something about flesh. Something about wanting me to die. You know, typical whispers. I decided I had to find John Defoe's idol as soon as possible. If not that, then at least the painting J-Hall had mentioned. I was convinced that some connection lay between the Defoe manor and this sudden madness. His body is here, his soul is not. Read text. The graffiti read, his body is here, his soul is not. I wonder if this was referring to John Defoe. Probably. Or maybe something else. There were 3 doors for 3 rooms on this and all of the top 3 stories. Each one was daubed with a plague cross. A plague cross? Sickly yellow paint was peeling from the walls and splatters of blood spilled out mystifying phrases. Remarkably, the door seemed intact. We open the door. The door was stuck shut. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. The stairway was built from old concrete and a thick smell of damp filled the air. I don't think it's just damp that's smelling here now. Gotta be careful. I don't want to experience a Sierra adventure game fall down from stairs. Anything up here? Look, blood? I couldn't even begin to decipher the meaning of the words. Man? Not man? What the hell did it mean? Man. Not man. Well, we know that he was a man before, but now he's a paranormal spirit. Okay. Strangely, there was some kind of dismembered porcelain dummy mounted on to one of the walls. Blood seemed to be running down the stairs, as if someone had attempted to descend them while bleeding out with increasing speed. The words "bring her back" were spelled out on the north wall for unknown reasons. It looked like some kind of porcelain mannequin, but with bits missing. I couldn't see how it was attached to the wall. Maybe blood? Can we take the dummy? It was stuck firmly to the wall, and besides, I didn't want to carry that around. How about we pull the dummy? Okay. This is weird, creepy, awesome. All at the same time. Game, you have definitely piqued my interest now that the horror has started. Last time it wasn't that exciting because there was a lot of talking and talking and talking and not enough gameplay. Well, pretty much no gameplay at all. But now... The graffiti read, priest or prisoner, acolyte or slave. I had no idea who it could be referring to. It didn't sound like something John Defoe would inspire.
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
Everybody should know that quote. If you don't,
shame on you.
Maybe at some point I should make a let's play out of that game. It's awesome. The whole series is awesome on that note. Okay. Blood seemed to be running in a blah blah blah. The corpse had apparently spent his last few moments of life making graffiti. Was he responsible for all the messages I had seen so far? The body was that of a young, muscular man, I hazarded, and was wearing some kind of old-fashioned military uniform, complete with blue tunic and riding boots. More to the point, his head was missing, and his hands were worn down to bloody wads of flesh and bone. I noticed a collection of handwritten pages on the floor near his body. So you're not gonna be saying anything about the big text that says, "Run"? They appeared to be entries from a diary. July 18th, Felicia and I took shelter from the storm in a decrepit old hotel in the forest. It seems to be completely deserted, so we whipped down on the floor of the lobby for the night. It is so peaceful here. The noise of the storm seems far away. July 19th. Exploring the hotel, it has become increasingly clear that the place is not as innocent as it first seemed. We found ancient corpses and evidence of terrible deeds in several of the rooms. The storm has cleared, and we intend to leave as soon as possible. July 20th. I am certain now that the devilry is at work. Every path we take through the forest brings us back to the hotel. We spent the whole day trying routes to no avail. Felicia keeps talking of a demon she fancies she saw in the hotel kitchen last night. July 21st. Felicia is dead. I was too late to help her. I saw her murderer, just as she did. Perhaps I will be next. I am beginning to understand. July 23rd. The murderous figure in black, the one whose body is savagely stretched into a mockery of form, is not the architect of this nightmare. Rather, this is the work of that hideous Lord of the Forbidden Lands. Gods forgive me. July 25th. I built a shrine to my captor in the lobby in an attempt to appease it. Nothing has changed. I have no more food. The horror is starting to affect my mind. I wonder if it was the Slender Man looking kind of guy. Or maybe not Slender Man. He actually looked like more of the strangers from Dark City. Ever seen that movie? You should, if you haven't. It's a great movie. I think it was done in 1999 or something like that. Pretty much at the same time when Matrix came out. And of course, Matrix got all the glory instead of Dark City. And I actually prefer Dark City over Matrix. July 28th. I am certain my mind is going. I imagined for a moment that the hotel had changed, had become finely decorated and welcoming, as it must have once been in the past. I blinked and it returned to its normal, hateful self. I think it was in the real world for a moment, but he thought it was the past, or something. The next few pages were sprinkled with blood, obscuring some of the text. August 1st. What is his relationship to that disgusting beast? Is he a servant or a prisoner? Sometimes he acts alone, sometimes at the behest of a higher power. What does he want from me? I think he was talking about the Slender Man. August 3rd. He's after me now. I think I must have done something wrong. August 4th. It hurts. That was the last readable entry. I decided not to take them with me. They were covered in blood and all stuck together. Yeah, good idea. For now, let's get into the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. The lobby too had been tainted and the painting I sought was absent. Presumably it only existed in the hotel's normal form. But I'm sure that if this happened before, it is not because of the painting or the idol. There's something other sinister happening here in the hotel before Defoe's influence. If that was the case, I needed to find a way back there, or dispel the hallucination if this truly was all in my mind. At this stage, I was beginning to wonder if this really was all John Defoe's doing. That's what I just talked about. I don't think it is. It didn't seem his style somehow. What other evil could possibly be the culprit? Well, that's what we're gonna investigate, I'm sure. I'm sure of it, that we're gonna... There's a body on the counter. A pentagon had been scrawled on the north wall, and a cow's skull had been nailed in place over it. It seemed to be some kind of offering. Always with the pentagram, huh? What most people don't know, that the way that it's right now drawn on the wall, that is actually a protection spell. If you turn it upside down, then it would be more satanic and evil that you're looking for. Most people just don't know that. I know about some occult things. I watched TV shows like Supernatural and all that, and also read about other things and such, so I know this stuff a little bit. Not an expert or anything, but I know it. I just know it. I stared blankly. The entrance room of the alternative Clenvenbryn Hotel had at least retained the basic shape of a lobby. I don't know how to read today. In that the pigeonholes remained, and an altar about the right size and shape for a reception counter. Someone had been tied down to the altar, flayed, and had their innards removed. By the looks of the horrible claw marks and broken fingernails, they had been alive at least part-way into the procedure. Well, usually they are alive, and then they're just flayed alive. You know, skinned alive. There's nothing else to look at, really, here. Mailboxes, aren't those? Okay. The glass had been smashed out of the windows in the front door, and a familiar plague cross was smeared onto the door to the manager's manager's office. Like I said, I don't know how to read today. Open door. Owen door. The office door was locked. Of course. Can we search corpse? I couldn't pick that open. I wasn't Pick lock. I had encountered far stronger locks in my time. I picked it open within 10 minutes. The room was tiny, and the absence of ventilation made the air very stuffy and thick. The only features were a safe and a table. I could somewhat sympathize with the clandestine graffiti artist. Pain. 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 It almost looked like some creature had exploded inside the safe and the blood had shot out through the cracks around the door. But is there anything still inside? The door appeared to be jammed shut. This came as something of a relief. Interesting. Anything on the floor? Nope. Okay, let's take a little bit more look around here. Torn wallpaper, bleeding walls, decay and disuse. This room continued the alternate hotel's tradition.
The door to the bar had fallen off one of its hinges, probably bashed in at some point in the past. Perhaps the alternative hotel bar had been like the real one at some point in the past, and had long since fallen into disarray and appeared to have been used for very sinister purposes. That is the guy that we saw in The Flash, when we were talking to the professor and Shivan. God damn it, I already forgot how to pronounce her name. I'll look it up later. The left poster was some kind of portrait of the strange masked figure I had glimpsed in the hotel. The middle poster was blank. The third was smashed. It appeared to be damaged, in the front plate ajar and frayed wires emerging from the rear. Strangely, though, the screen was active and flashing blankly. Anything on the bar? In keeping with the alternate hotel's theme, the furniture looked like someone had been hurled against them with absolutely fatal force. Lying on the bar in a pool of gore was a pair of long-nosed pliers. Ooh, let's get them. They were rusty but functional. I took them with me. You gotta learn how to read, dude. If you're doing a let's play out of a text adventure, or not really a text, but an adventure game. My mind is all shambles today. Come on, concentrate, dude. It had probably once been a dining room, judging by the number of tables. There were a total of 4 exits to adjoining rooms. There were 4 doors, none of which seemed inviting. One to the east led back to the hallway, one to the west leading to the kitchen, one to some kind of unisex bathroom, and another large one that someone had boarded up. Some kind of flayed corpse was nailed into the place over the door to the toilet, blocking the way. What does it say on the wall? Not really. I can't really make out what it says. It feeds, I guess? The words "it feeds" were inexplicably spelled out on the north wall in the prerequisite bloody letters. What's that on the table? There's flies all over it, so it must be some hunk of meat. The tables were universally hidden under tablecloths, yellowed and stinking with age. There was a plate of rancid meat on the center one, adding its evil stench to the air. Oops. There was an arrangement of uncooked meat with ribs sticking out of the center table that seemed to be attracting insects beautifully. I tried not to think about what kind of meat it was. I can clearly imagine what it could be. Human flesh. Let's try to open door. Kitchen doors refused to open. The body had been completely flayed and still glistened wetly with blood. The hands and one of the feet were held in place around the door with 6-inch nails. Use pliers on nails. The pliers were ideal for removing the nails. Hello. Thank you for being there. That actually startled me a bit. I really wasn't expecting that. And will you people stop whispering already? Starting to get annoying. No. Okay, they won't stop whispering then because the text on the wall says no. The gloomy lavatories were in a state of advanced disrepair. One of the cubicle doors was hanging off its hinges and the mirror above the counter was broken. The counter had 2 sinks and was covered in filth and mold. To my surprise, a brand new sealed envelope was sitting between the basins. Can we look at the toilets? None of the toilets appeared to be functional. One of them was overflowing with blood, which left me disinclined to investigate the others. Baffled, I took the envelope. It was strangely bulky, and tore it open. A white pill bottle and a note fell out into my hand. I here enclosed the note with this report. Trilby, if you're reading this, then you too have seen the hotel change. At present, I have no idea if the alternative hotel is part of the ethereal realm or some kind of construct, a pocket dimension. Well, that would explain a lot of things. It would be if it is a pocket dimension. At least it would make sense to me. There's a definite correlation between one's level of agitation and one's tendency to reality shift. Fear is your enemy. It leaves you shining like a beacon for whatever evil brought us to this place. Enclosed is a bottle of tranquilizers from my personal first aid kit. When you find yourself shifting into the other place, take a pill and try to calm down, and the real hotel will return. Do not let it concern you. I am researching the phenomenon. Your task is to find Defoe. Good luck. Agent Linkman. Hey, that's the guy that we saw outside, so he's actually taking care of us. That's good. Good to have allies for a mission like this. Linkman's letter raised many more questions than it answered. I pocketed the pill bottle. What do you mean? Well, of course it raises more questions, but at least we got some explanation of what's going on. A little bit. Still, we don't know who the faceless dude is and what really is going on here, but at least the pocket dimension makes sense. Take a pill. No, not a pilk. Pill. Hesitantly, I tipped a tranquilizer into my palm and swallowed it without water. It quickly took effect. I felt the anxiety lift from the pit of my stomach, and my dismal surroundings seemed to feel less imposing. Then I felt that strange sensation again of lightheadedness and a detachment as the world around me began to quiver. Thank goodness that's over. The toilets were so clean and well maintained that the very tiles of the floor seemed to glow with luminescence. The mirror above the counter was spotless and crystal clear. I have to. I seemed somewhat pale, but otherwise fine. Well, that was certainly interesting, and I'm gonna leave it here. Ah, damn. I really didn't think that this hotel would be that sinister. A pocket dimension? Really? God. At least he got a way out of there. Pocket dimensions are not easy to get out of, unless you somehow figure it out. He got an easy way out, a tranquilizer pill to make him calm down. At least it worked, and we're out of that hellhole. I wonder if the others wonder where we have been or what's been going on. And why does it only affect us? Is it because we had an encounter with Defoe? Could be. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon, and a good morning, and I will see you all next time. Take care, people. Bye.